Nah, it's not bro. That's not bro science, dude. Are you kidding me? That part is not bro science. The notion that like there would be an exit wound, even with that distance, it kind of doesn't make sense with it's not that doesn't make sense with the ballistics. But then again, who knows? Who knows? I mean, maybe. But yeah, one of the Valhalla VFT, Charlie Kirk FBI narrative is total bullshit. Let's take a look at one of these gun tubers who is not putting up with this nonsense.
Also telling you is that he reassembled the rifle before he dumped it in the bushes as he's fleeing the scene of a murder. How'd he reassemble the rifle if he accidentally left his screwdriver up on the roof?
Yeah, that's right, baby. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, we got a real live hog up in the air, boys. Hell yeah. Valhalla Firearms Trading.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I know it's been a few days. I've been out of town, but it's actually given me let the FBI complete its full official story regarding the Charlie Kirk situation. And man, it's an interesting story to say the least. That's what we're going to do in this video. No tinfoil hat, no conspiracy. We are just going to go from start to finish with the official story put out by the FBI and see if any of it actually makes sense together. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, help the channel, follow us on Patreon,
25
grab some merch.
for
Let's
Patriots.
jump into this thing.
A gift subscription to the Parker Broadcasting Service. That's right. We here at the Parker Broadcasting Service honor our fallen soldiers. That's right. This is a real Patriot headquarters. Let's go.
Now, there's a philosophical theory called Occam's razor that when you're presented with multiple different possible scenarios that could explain.
That's right. This guy's a real warrior poet.
Something, typically the one that's least complicated and requires the least assumptions is the one that's most often true. Is the official FBI's narrative the one that's the least complicated and requires the least amount of assumptions? I'd say no. I'd say it's the one that requires the most amount of assumptions. Let's jump into it. All right, we're going to start at the start of the timeline, work our way through it, and just as we go, talk about some things that just don't quite make sense. All right, first, the shooter. Where did he come from? So at first we heard that he actually went to this school. Then, as far as we know now, he actually went to a different school about 3 hours away in Utah. So yes, this kid drove up for the event, apparently somehow pre-scouted the entire area, knew exactly where he needed to be and park to be able to get onto this roof, get in the exact perfect position he needed to take this shot. Okay, that's fine. We can assume that's not that outrageous of a theory. Then, according to the FBI, we got to get into, as he gets to the event, his clothing situation. A lot of supposed clothes changes in a weird timeline that doesn't make sense. I'll let the FBI talk about it, though.
So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on.
Watch the whole video before commenting, please. I love that, like, these guys are so awesome because this basically reveals what their timeline looks like. Okay? To me, this is a big revelation because, like, this is an official video. Why not just, like, source it as an official video? Nope. He went to TikTok and most likely saw, like, one of those conspiracy talk versions of the Spencer Cox and FBI narratives and ripped it off that. Like, instead of going to the OG, instead of going to like the Associated Press, like this basically shows like what their perspective looks like.
And then he changes clothing on the roof and then changed back into that.
Occam's razor, brother. Why find a different source when you have a simpler one? True. I apologize to the Antifa patriots out there. You're right.
Clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the here at UV.
All right, so we're off to a great start, right? So the suspect arrives in some clothing, he changes that clothing, puts it in, I'm assuming, this tiny little backpack where he's also got a broken down 30-06. We'll get into that in a second. Climbs to the roof, changes his clothing, takes the shot, and we're going to get to the roof timeline of events here in a minute. Changes back out of that clothing and then flees and escapes the scene. All right, so more clothing changes than Taylor Swift concert. Sure. We'll
He
say that
shows
makes
the
sense.
entry
What the
wound.
FBI has also told us is, of course, that this is the suspect weapon. All right, this Mauser 30-06 that they found later that day. Okay. Again, this one, I've never believed this from the beginning, and we're going to get into why here as we move through the timeline of events. But
Okay,
he
906.
supposedly, he changes his clothes. Now, a lot of people were trying to say that he hid this rifle in his jeans. Okay, well, let's
How do we donate directly to you? As it stands currently, the best way to do it, the best way to do that is to just subscribe. The Piker Broadcasting Service does not run ads. The Piker Broadcasting Service funded by you, the people, for you, the people. It's an ad-free experience. And all you need to do in order to fund or support the Piker Broadcasting Service is by subscribing via a Twitch Prime for free if you would like, gifting subs if you would like, just like Cult Hero did just now. Juliet Home, Cult Hero, thank you. Armand Dork, thank you for the gifted subs. Or by subscribing for $6 a month.
take a look at what a 30-06 looks like stuffed in a pair of pants. All right, so courtesy of one of our viewers, yes, as you
Dude, he got one of his viewers. Oh, hell yeah. This is the best. Oh my God. You know this is Hog Central because look at the viewership, dog. Oh, that's amazing. That belt is struggling, brother. Yeah, that shit's on its last 2 loops. Hog heaven.
can see what does an actual 30-06 look like stuffed in actually kind of a pair of loose-fitting pants. Absolutely outrageous, ridiculous. So no, it wasn't just stuffed in this kid's tiny little skinny jeans. We know that. So the FBI then says, well, yes, he disassembled this 30-06 and he put it in his tiny little backpack, which I'm not even sure how the barrel fits in that backpack. All right, sure. Let's just pretend that this kid is David Blaine Jr. and he somehow has a fully broken down 30-06 in this tiny little backpack that he has with, of course, his change of clothing on top of it. Also, the tools to put together and take apart this weapon. He gets to the top of the roof, and as you heard the FBI say there, he changes his clothes when he gets on top of the roof. He reassembles his rifle. The FBI says, we know that's...
This guy is a Green Beret, 1st SF group, stationed near China and fluent in Mandarin. Wait, what? I can't tell if Top G is like memeing or not, because he usually does meme.
what he did, because the FBI found the screwdriver he used to reassemble the rifle, and it matches...
This dude apparently is a Green Beret because of that silver De Oppresso Libre. This is a Green Beret plaque? I don't know shit about this. He used to be, but he's out now. Why are these people so dumb? That's a normal size backpack. Changing your clothes is not a weird thing to do. No, changing your clothes is not a weird thing to do at all. And before and after the incident, it's not a weird thing to do at all. But one thing that they said is that he literally changed his clothes back to the clothes he was wearing when he actually took the shot. Like he did like 3 different clothing changes. If it wasn't for the last one, it would make sense. When you're scoping out the scene, you have a different set of clothes. Then you change and then you change again and you never wear the same clothes ever again, right? But he changed to a 3rd pair of clothes, but then changed back from what they were claiming. And maybe there's some misinformation and maybe we didn't understand it fully. But like, apparently he changed back to the clothing, like the clothing that he was wearing when he was doing my theory is that many of these outfits are in fact body paint. Please tell me that this is true. I love this. Thank you for showing me this. Yeah, he had body paint. Yeah, that's how you know. Liberal Trantifa, he had body paint. Also, we know he was a manimal. He had paw prints that he left behind. Everybody knows he was a manimal.
the DNA to the shooter. Okay, let's see that statement. All right, so yes, here we go from the FBI Director Kash Patel himself, a real winner in this entire situation, tells us the DNA found on a towel wrapped in the woods with the 30-06 matches that of the shooter. Also, that the DNA linked to Tyler Robinson with a screwdriver recovered from the rooftop. That's going to be important here in just a second. was also recovered. All right, so quick recap because we got to stay in our timeline here because it's all over the fucking place. So the kid shows up, he changes his clothes. He's got his broken down 30-06 in his backpack and this magic Houdini backpack that's fitting all this crazy shit in it. He gets to the top of the roof, he changes his clothes, he reconstructs the rifle with this screwdriver that the FBI found, okay? Then, of course, we see him take the shot, and in the chaos, we see that first video of him immediately sprinting across the roof right after that shot. We then see him flee out the back. All right, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. So if you see my cursor right here on the left.
Excuse me. The reason why we're watching this is because we have to learn about what happened, okay? And this guy knows what happened. He's going to tell us. Calm down now, okay? You need a real patriot to hold your hand sometimes and guide you to the truth.
This is where the FBI says he took the shot from, okay? We then see him immediately sprint along the front of this from that front viewed camera and sprint around this right off the back, as we've seen. There he goes. He zooms in. A lot of people are trying to say with him, we're going to see here in a second. That's just silly. He jumps down, throws his backpack, picks his backpack up, which looks like his hat. He actually does, because right here, you see this? Hat comes back on the head. He has nothing in his left arm, only the backpack in his right arm. Okay, you can see here, if this kid had a giant 30-06 somehow, people are going to see it. But what he has is a backpack. Because again, there's pedestrians, there's cars, there's everybody. Like,
that part I don't fully agree with, because like that I do think he's just holding the gun. Like it looks like he could absolutely be holding the gun with a towel wrapped around it
in front of him. Nobody's freaking out. This kid's walking around with a giant rifle right after a gunshot, right? What the FBI said is a deconstructed rifle in his backpack. All right, let's play a hypothetical. And again, this is literally the FBI's story. So this kid was able to take the shot, change his clothes, break down with the screwdriver he used and left on the roof to put it back in his backpack, all in about 6 seconds as he sprints across in one sort of continuous frame there to leave the scene. Okay, fine, FBI. Sure, let's say that's all somehow true. Well, what's the problem that we just ran into now? Well, that screwdriver he used to disassemble and reassemble the weapon, FBI, you found it on the roof. He left it on the roof. So when he flees...
Okay, I don't know about a second shooter theory, but maybe there is a second screwdriver theory.
Out into the bushes where you found his 30-06 in the woods. Let's take a look at that 30-06. That weapon is...
I mean, it also doesn't make sense if he literally deconstructed it to transport it with ease and then reconstructed it and then mysteriously left it in the woods completely constructed. So I don't think that he deconstructed it after the shot. I think he just like carried it fully, wrapped around the towel, and we can't really tell from the footage. That's what I think.
Completely assembled. So what the FBI is also telling you is that he reassembled the rifle before he dumped it in the bushes as he's fleeing the scene of a murder. How'd he reassemble the rifle if he accidentally left his screwdriver up on the roof? Whoopsies. Also, Cash Patel, how come you announced that the DNA matches a towel found in the woods and the screwdriver, but you didn't say that the DNA matches the rifle? That seems like what you would want to match. I don't know. Kind of odd. Let's talk about the shot itself, because again, I've said from the very beginning I didn't believe this was a 30-06 based off of the official narrative. Is that...
Okay, wait. This is where he's going to show the exit wound, I think. Not yet, but around like 950.
Charlie Kirk was shot from about 150 to 200 yards with a 30-06 round. And we've all seen the footage, I'm sure, by now. None of that ever made sense to me. And I'm going to show you why. So we racked our brains back and forth about, did Charlie have body armor? Did he not have it on? We've run through the timeline of events and pretty much 100% confirmed at this point, no, Charlie did not have body armor on.
Yeah, you can tell he doesn't have body armor on because you can see his titties. The Levada showed in the preview. No, calm down. That's fine. It also doesn't show like all of the all of the gore anyway, regardless.
So what does that mean? The official FBI story means that he took a direct impact to soft tissue in the neck near the carotid from a 30-06 round from 150 meters. Okay. Let's look at a little demonstration. All right, guys, this is going to be an actual ballistics demonstration.
He's also showing the same ballistic demonstration I showed you guys earlier as well. So you know we're in good company here, okay? You know I'm a real hog because he's using the same ballistics dummy demonstration that I also used.
And skull, okay? And these are literally designed to see what ballistics actually do to the human body. This is a 30-06 round. Let's take a watch.
It explodes, dude.
Okay.
I can't show you because he's about to show the.
So we are supposed to believe that
I can't show you because he's about to show the Charlie Kirk shot. So I can't show you it.
30-06 round from about 150 meters to soft human flesh, and it's not like Charlie Kirk was some linebacker with, not that it would matter, some giant neck or anything.
You guys are so
fairly
annoying.
Small wound as you still frame the pictures. Oh. So here's the actual still frame.
He's literally showing the still frame of Charlie's neck.
Wants you to believe that wound right there is an entrance wound from a 30-06 round, which we just saw demonstrated, and there was no exit wound. Okay. You know, people say, well, bullets do funny things. Yeah, that would have been real funny, right? You guys realize the entire back of that tent, that white tent, would have just been painted with Charlie's blood. Just absolutely everywhere, had that been a 30-06 round. Again, FBI story, not mine. So as we move through the timeline of events, yes, the kid escapes, and in the chaos, we have some very odd things happen. We have that old man immediately cause a huge distraction, saying that he's the shooter. Very odd. The FBI then, of course, immediately announces at 4:21 p.m., we got him.
Nah, it's not bro. That's not bro science, dude. Are you kidding me? That part is not bro science. The notion that like there would be an exit wound, even with that distance, it kind of doesn't make sense with that doesn't make sense with the ballistics. But then again, who knows? Who knows? I mean, maybe the human body is strange. Maybe it is a miracle.
Cash Patel says, we got him, boys. About an hour and a half later, says we don't got him. Actually got a good meme for this.
Got the guy.
Oh, shit. Did you really?
Nope. Not the guy.
Okay.
This is the guy.
Oh, shit. You.
Oh, wait. Nope. Not that guy.
What are we doing right now?
That guy's a leftist, by the way. He's using...
I got a picture of the guy.
Yeah, how am I supposed to know that's the guy? Shit, wait, how do I know that's the guy?
All right, I'll see you in Valhalla, jokes aside. Yes, so the FBI thinks they got him, they don't got him. They thinks they got him, they don't got him. All right, then they find the murder weapon in the woods later that night, supposedly, I guess. Then, and again, I have to keep telling you this is the FBI's narrative, not mine. This kid goes through all this work, planning and preparation, pulls this thing off, gets away, gets in his car, drives all the way back home, and immediately confesses to his pastor father, who the FBI told us.
No, his father's not a pastor. No, his father suspected him. We know the official narrative. He's actually wrong about some of this stuff. The official narrative is that his father suspected him. His mother and father suspected him of being the shooter, and because like the photos that they saw, and they hadn't seen him, and then they saw a photo of the gun as well, and it looked like the grandpappy's gun, and so he asked him about it, and then the father went to a friend, like a pastor, who was also like a law enforcement guy, and that person was like, you should go tell the cops.
A retired sheriff, turns out, was never in law enforcement, apparently owns a construction business. I don't know. Immediately confesses and is turned in by his father, who is now going to receive a $1 million reward from Bill Ackman for turning in his son. Okay, so we got the shooter in custody, and of course now we need motives, we need reasons. Because again, he carries this entire thing out.
Oh, here we
He
go,
confesses,
Trantifa.
admits it to his father, supposedly admits it on Discord, even though Discord is saying that that username and those messages don't actually exist. Even the FBI, even though the FBI is saying.
No, that's not true. So Discord's official statement was that he did not plan out the shooting on Discord. Discord never said that he was never on Discord, or Discord never said that he was never, he had never talked about the shooting on Discord after the fact. They simply said that there was no planning on Discord before the fact. Yeah. And they revealed all the Discord information of the alleged shooter anyway.
That and after confessing to all these people, turning himself into his father, he gets apprehended by the FBI, who is still saying as of right now that he's refusing to cooperate or admit to the crime.
So anyway, the rest of this stuff is just like ridiculous text messages, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. I just cared about the ballistics